Melatonin is something that helps you relax.
Yes, and it's all about your circadian rhythm.
I see.
So you're up with the sun, cortisol's up with the sun, melatonin comes in with the moon, all right, at
I
nighttime.
see.
So you that's your circadian rhythm, and that's just everybody has
Circadian
that.
rhythm is how the sun and the moon cycle.
Yes, and your body is on that cycle as well.
I see. So then that brings to maybe a good point of what causes you to not relax at nighttime. Because I mean, if you're in a room full of lights that are bright and kind of replicate the sun in a way, I've heard those things can keep you from sleeping. So maybe that keeps your body from that response of releasing melatonin at nighttime.
Oh, definitely,
So
definitely.
that maybe that's one first key thing is to get in deep sleep is making sure that your lights are dim after a certain time of the night or off, or candles, switching to candles even. I'll do that sometimes. I've noticed it definitely helps relax. It definitely sets a mood at least.
Well, there are some, in our day and age, there are some specific things that you'll want to do. And one is you want to get off of your electronics at least an hour to 2 hours before bedtime.
And that's because of
the blue light.
The blue light, right?
Yes. And not only the blue light, but also it's keeping your brain wired. Okay.
Right.
So
that kind of makes sense from experience.
And so what I think is very interesting is I've talked to people and they say, but it helps me to get to sleep. And I say, well, it's fooling you. It's kind of like tobacco. People smoke because they say it relaxes them, but in actuality, tobacco is a stimulant.
I see.
Okay, so it's the same principle there.
Do you think tobacco over time becomes a relaxer for people that become really adapted to it in a sense, and it's becomes something that they're familiar with, and familiarity is comfortable?
It's possible. It can also be, if you are a smoker, it can also be the action of holding that cigarette.
That's a relaxing, comforting signal for you.
It is. It can be. And so for a lot of people that have quit smoking, they say the thing that they miss the most is actually the holding the cigarette in between their fingers.
It's really weird. I wonder why.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I wonder if there's maybe there's something ingrained into us genetically. Maybe we've been smoking for a long time as humans.
It's called habit.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. Habits.
Habit.
Develop all sorts of habits.
It's those ruts that we've created, those neural pathways that if we've done something long enough and often enough, then it's very difficult to change those neural pathways, but it is possible.
And neural pathway is your gut sending information to your brain? Is that what it was?
It's the connections. There are dendrites in your brain that actually grow, and if I get this right,
and those are habit. They have something to do with habits.
Yes. So the more often you do something, the more neural pathways you form that create this.
So neural pathways are like
pattern. Yeah.
Grand Canyons in your brain that represent habits, and they get ingrained in there in a sense.
Well, I wouldn't
to a degree, anyways.
Yeah, that's the idea. They're not necessarily Grand Canyons. They're more like roads.
They feel like Grand Canyons.
They're little
sometimes.
roads and synapses and connections that are formed.
Yeah.
And so to unform those, you must change your habit long enough and deep enough for those neural pathways ways to reform to the new habit.